Hey everybody, Frank Spear back with you for a really short video today. Galatians chapter 1. I've been making the case in some of my videos that angels in the Bible refer to human beings. The word simply means messengers. Yes, there are some difficult passages, without question. However, there were difficult passages about Satan and demons and the devil and the serpent and all that. But we figured them out as best we can as time goes on, right? As we continue to study. Galatians chapter 1, let's begin here really. Let's start in verse 8. But even if we, or an angel from heaven, should preach to you a gospel contrary to what has been preached to you, or what we have been preached to you, he is to be accursed. As we have said before, so I say again now, if any man is preaching to you a gospel contrary to what you received, he is to be accursed. So here's a couple questions just to think about, okay? I don't like to be dogmatic, but I like to think, and hopefully you're thinking with me. Think about this here. He says, even if we, or an angel from heaven, should preach to you a gospel contrary to what we have preached to you, let him be accursed. A couple of questions. What angel from heaven, if they're supernatural creatures, A, would be coming down to earth and preaching another gospel? Do we see any of that in the scriptures, that supernatural beings came down from heaven and preached a contrary gospel? Who was preaching a contrary gospel? The Judaizers were. The apostate Jewish leaders and followers of that religion were preaching a contrary gospel. That we see throughout the entirety of the New Testament. Those were the people that were dogging the steps of the apostles and contradicting their teaching, preaching another gospel. Okay, so if we or an angel from heaven should preach to you a gospel contrary to what we have preached to you, would a supernatural being from heaven come down and appear to them and preach something contrary to what God the Father's message was to the children of Israel? Where do we see that kind of thing happening in the Bible? Why would a supernatural being come out of heaven and say, hey guys, let me preach something contrary to what God, whom I live with in an invisible realm, is saying? Let me contradict him. I submit to you that angels in heaven, throughout the scriptures, are the priests, the messengers, that's what the word means, the workers, the servants of God, were the priests in the temple. Even if you, and the people of Israel revered these priests, the high priests, the chief priests, and there were a lot of them. Do you know that there were thousands, tens of thousands of priests in Israel that worked in the temple? They took shifts daily, weekly. They had schedules all throughout the year. There were many thousands of priests that worked in the temple from the tribe of Levi. Right? He says, even if one of these priests who are the experts in the scripture come to you and tell you something that contradicts what we're preaching, let them be accursed. Could supernatural angels be accursed? Could they come down out of heaven, take on the form of a human being or something, and then become accursed of God by preaching a different gospel? What did they say to the Father in heaven? Hey, I'm going to split for a little while, go down to earth, and, I'm going to do some stuff down there. I'm going to preach a different gospel than the one you want them to hear. No. As we have said before, verse 9, so I say now again, if any man is preaching to you a different gospel, that includes the angels he just talked about. He says, if you, watch this, but even if we ourselves as apostles change the message, even if we or an angel from heaven or any man should preach to you another gospel. So think about these things with me. People are quick to dismiss because we've got things stuck in our head, traditions, interpret bad interpretations from our English translations of the Bible. Read Jude and study out who the angels are in the book of Jude. I've done some teaching on that, so check out my teaching on angels. I don't claim to have it all down and every verse figured out. But the more I study, the more I see this. The angels at the tomb of Jesus, right? It calls them men. In the Old Testament, we see over and over again angels referred to as men. These are English translations that do this to us. They take the same Hebrew word and they translate it angels in one verse and then a man or men in another verse. And they screw us all up. We've got to go back to the original languages here to get a grasp on what's going on, or what was going on at that time. All right, guys, thanks for your time today. I hope you'll do your homework as I continue to do mine. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.